what does it mean to be shy? Someone who's shy is someone who is nervous to speak to other people. This is a completely normal and natural human emotion. We all get shy when we're doing things for the first time or with brand new people for the first little bit. However, there are some of us who are, it seems like we're perpetually shy. And if you're watching, if you're listening to this, and maybe you're not shy, just maybe think about a family member, somebody on your team, maybe it's a client of yours, and maybe they are shy. And what I had to learn is there is a completely different way to communicate yourself and to also communicate people who may be a little bit more nervous when it comes to social situations. And so we often think that there's really two kinds of people. There's two kinds of choices, okay? You're sort of the extroverted, loud-spirited leader. You're like a motivational speaker. You're very confident. You never run out of things to say. You're like a social butterfly, right? Like I imagine Gary Vaynerchuk to kind of fit in this model. And then we have the different kind of choice, generally speaking, which is you're more introverted, you're more quiet. You don't really say something unless you have something very important to say. A lot of the times, you're some sort of a technical digital marketer. You are, a computer programmer. You maybe have limited contact with humans. And I want to tell you guys that there is a much, much, much broader choice. And in fact, in 2019, before COVID took over the entire world, I spoke in basically every single major city in America. And I got to speak amongst so many leaders, New York Times bestselling authors, executives, key marketers in the world, key successful people. And what was really interesting was that I would see these really successful people who have like 500,000, 2 million followers on Instagram. They go up on stage and then they would crush it. Everybody would be cheering for them. They would pop on like, Superman or Superwoman. And then they would come back to the break room and all the speakers would be hanging out. And then I would notice they would just go sit in the corner. And I would talk to them and I realized that a lot of them were actually really, really introverted. And that got me to start to think hey, everybody can do this. Everybody, even if you're very, very shy, even if you have social anxiety, even if you're the most introverted person, you can still train yourself to do this. And so then you have to ask yourself, is you being shy, is that a superpower or is that a limitation? For me, it depends. I think shyness can be a superpower if it doesn't impact every single second of your life. And many people say that people who are shy often are great listeners. They are very compassionate. And a lot of the times because they had to learn how to communicate, they're often much better communicators than the average person. And then there's the other side, which is, hey, is shyness a limitation for you? And to me, that's what happens when, let's say you have a successful job or you have a successful business, but you just can't talk to people, or every time, you even hop on a virtual Zoom call, your nervous system feels like it's about to kill itself, or you just are always trying to find excuses to not hang out with people. And so there's a long range of this, but it can be good and it can also be bad. And that's the reality. And one of the superpowers of what it is to be shy is that you can actually reach shy people. Okay. So if you look at this from a marketing perspective and impacting a lot of people out there, there's a lot of people out there who are not really going to be that interested in listening to people like, Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone. not because there's anything wrong with them, but because those people and their personality types are just very extroverted and they're very loud. And some people are just not going to resonate that just because of their communication style. And so if you are a shy person or you understand the perspective, you can actually use shyness as a superpower to reach populations of people that are literally untapped, waiting for you. And then on top of that, what I mentioned a little bit briefly is, if you do realize that you're in a position where you're very shy, it's really like ruining and bothering your life. Kind of like for me, I remember when I was 18, 19, I had a successful business, but yet I was so shy. I was so socially anxious. Eventually, I started to socially isolate myself. And that's where I really ran into many of the mental health issues. And so we're not going to talk about this entirely because this is, a marketing scaling summit, but I just wanted to touch on it real quick. If you, want something to Google, you want something to research after this, what I would say is definitely check out my book, Screw Being Shy, but then also some things to look up into Google as actionable steps that I'm not going to get into are your gut microbiome. It has a huge influence on your brain, and it has a huge influence on your brain's neurotransmitters that actually control how you communicate. There's mindfulness meditation, which I know Vishen Lakhiani is going next. Mind Valley has a lot of resources on meditation. Then there's exposure therapy. Again, you can look these up. You can Google these. You can check out my book. You can send me a message. I've written articles about this stuff. But now, what I really want to get into are what are the keys to, you realize you're sort of shy, maybe you're not, maybe you're just an introvert, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? I can't be like one of these Gary Vee. I can't be one of these people who's very confident, who's very loud. It's just not who I am, but I want to communicate to the world. So for me, step one is, or before that, for me, it's like, don't be an introvert. Like the worst case scenario is you don't want to be an introvert who genuinely has something meaningful to say, but you can't because your beliefs and your behavior. And the reality is, guys, is that there's a lot of, I'm not even going to say extroverts, but there's a lot of people out there who don't have anything meaningful to say, and they just say it all day. But yet someone like you, who's an introvert, who actually does have something meaningful and honest and passionate to speak on, a lot of us are stopped by our beliefs, our behavior, our brain structure, our past experiences. And life is too short for that. And if you are watching this right now, it means you are at the right place and right time. And so how do you begin to unwind this? So step one, and I think this is like the most important, is that you don't have to make it about yourself. Okay. So you guys saw Alicio, for example, he jumped on the summit. And, he kind of talked about marketing. He talked about the summit. And then he sort of briefly talked about his story. And I remember for me, when I was 18, 19, 20, even 21, I was like, man, I don't have a story. I don't even want to talk about myself. And I think there's like this huge misconception out there when it comes to personal branding, when it comes to getting yourself out there. A lot of people think like you have to have like some crazy story, or you have to have some interesting life, and then you have 50 stories at the top of your mind. And so what I would say is, don't make it about yourself, but make sure it's worth talking about.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you truly enjoyed it. I'm Alessio Pieroni, and I'm the founder of Scale for Impact, and obviously of Scale with Alessio. In this channel you can find some of the most amazing marketing content, the content that will help your online education business to go to the next level. And if you want to see other videos like this one, please subscribe to this channel. It means really the world for us. And please also comment below and tell us how you found this video. It's truly important. If on the other side you want to go to the next level and you actually want to make sure that you can watch the entire talks from the Scale series, you want to see over 50 speakers, people that have been changing the entire marketing landscape, and see exactly how these can take your business to the next level, please subscribe to the Scale series. For just $99, you're gonna get the chance to see some of the most amazing speakers, and on top of that, get a lot of other bonuses. You're gonna have 3 amazing books completely for free inside that, tens of hours of other marketing training, All of it for just $99. Literally, that's just $2 per talk. And we're not talking about random speakers. We're talking about people like Jay Abram, people like Alex Cattoni, Vishen Lakhiani, Jeff Walker, Perry Marshall, Rich Sheffrin, Molly Pittman, Murray Smith. Incredible people that change the entire marketing landscape right now at your fingertip for just $2 each. So don't wait anymore. It's time for you to get the Scale series. See you there and upgrade your marketing knowledge.